Boy, what an incredible rendition. Never heard one like it.
Hey there, music enthusiasts. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary musical performances in music history. We are talking about Jimi Hendrix's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock. Well, most folks latch onto a single interpretation of this particular performance, but that's actually like looking at one piece of the puzzle only. In today's video, we go beyond the obvious and we uncover diverse angles and meanings of Hendrix's Woodstock moment. Get ready for an eye-opening journey, as in just a few minutes you might gain a whole new perspective on Hendrix's Star-Spangled Banner. Let's set the stage. It's 1969, the era of social upheaval. And Woodstock, a music festival that became a symbol of counterculture movement. And Woodstock was a gathering place for hundreds and thousands of people seeking peace and unity while the Vietnam War was still raging on. Against this backdrop, Jimi Hendrix took the stage, and what happened next would resonate with generations to come. At that day, he played in front of a very slimmed down crowd at Woodstock, but his message really reached the entire world. Contrary to common belief, Jimi Hendrix's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock was not entirely spontaneous. In fact, he had performed the national anthem several times before his Woodstock gig. Some people say he performed it about 70 times beforehand.
And so we had our repertoire. We knew what we were going to play. We didn't have a sheet, but there's a way that he started it. Intuitively, we knew what the next song was going to be.
Jimi's interpretation took shape, each rendition influencing the next. And at Woodstock, he delivered a rendition that transcended its traditional meaning. He transformed the national anthem at Woodstock into a sonic commentary on the turbulent times. Jimi Hendrix loved music and he loved melody. So first and foremost, Jimi was captivated by the beautiful melody of the national anthem. It was more than just a piece of music to Jimi. It resonated deeply within him. Additionally, being American, a sense of patriotism played a significant role in his connection with the anthem, of course. But Jimi has also served in the army and witnessed the complexities of this growing conflict firsthand. Friends, including Eric Burdon, recalled Hendrix's fervent discussions on geopolitical issues, expressing the need for the United States to subdue Chinese communism. Jimi Hendrix was an advocate for peace. He harbored a deep-seated aversion to conflict and to suffering of humanity. His rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner wasn't hippy-dippy, but it reflected his optimistic and loving spirit in an authentic way. In his unique way, he served unconventional paths to rise above the hate and violence, using his art as a vessel. However, it's essential to recognize that Hendrix's experiences in the military, coupled with his pacifistic nature, may have contributed to the work's radiant objectivity. Perhaps when performing the song at Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix not only thought about the hippies congregated there, but also about his old friends from the 101st Airborne. Some of them went straight from Fort Campbell to the jungles overseas, witnessing combat firsthand. It's a perspective that adds depth to our understanding of the artist and his complex relationship with the war. His rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner was also a very complex musical tribute. And here's why. As Jimmy wove his sonic rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock, he included a poignant element. And this element was a snippet of the military song Taps. And why is this so complex in its message? To understand this, you have to know that taps is traditionally played during military funerals, and it is a signal for the end of the day on military bases. In the context of Jimmy's rendition, taps serves as a haunting reminder of the lives lost in the Vietnam War, of the friends he lost. The addition of taps is such a subtle yet powerful touch that showcases Jimmy's ability to infuse his music with layers of emotion and meaning, and all this without having to speak 1,000 words. What do we know about Jimmy's own reflection on his performance? Less than a month after Woodstock, on September 9, 1969, Jimmy was a guest at the Dick Cavett Show, and he answered Dick's questions regarding his rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner in a very modest way. When Dick started asking Jimmy about his rendition, and Dick wanted to find out if it had a deeper meaning to Jimmy, Jimmy said, "All I did was play it. I'm American, so I played it." And he goes on and he tells Dick that they made me sing it in school, so it was a flashback, you know? It's that simple, and Jimmy didn't want to talk about a deeper meaning on a TV show. And Cavett at that moment is pretty kind, and he allows Jimmy to correct him when he calls the version unorthodox. And when Jimmy hears that, he replies, no, I thought it was beautiful. But there you go, you know? And that's it. Now let's break down the mind-bending effects Jimi Hendrix pulled off with his guitar, adding to the magic of his unique rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Let us first talk about the so-called dive bombs and explosions he created with his guitar. Imagine Hendrix making his guitar notes shoot up high and then quickly diving them down with his whammy bar. It was like a sonic roller coaster reflecting the sound of downgoing bombs and explosions. The second effect was the crying guitar sound. Ever heard a guitar cry? Hendrix made it happen by marrying his whammy bar with the evocative tones of his wah pedal in toe position. He transformed notes into wails that resembled human cries. It was a sonic expression of the pain and turmoil that echoed through the anthem, amplifying the emotional resonance. The third effect I want to talk about is the machine gun beats. Picture the quick bursts of a machine gun, but played on a guitar. Hendrix did this by lightly touching the strings and then strumming super fast with tons of distortion coming from his fuzz. It was like the guitar was mimicking the intense beats of war, adding a powerful punch to the anthem. Let's quickly sum up the gear that Jimi used for his Woodstock gig. So, we have the wah-wah pedal. From the wah-wah pedal he went into his fuzz. It was a Roger Mayer Axis fuzz, especially modded to work brilliantly with the wah pedal. From there Jimi went into his Univibe. And from there he went into his Marshall Plexis. Jimi Hendrix's Woodstock performance of the Star-Spangled Banner wasn't just show. In fact, it was a big deal in culture. It shook things up, making people think differently and becoming a kind of anthem for those who wanting a change. Jimi's unique take on that piece of music, on the national anthem, had a big effect on many musicians of that era. Before, many musicians stuck to the same old way of using music as an instrument of expressing emotion and protest. But Jimi showed them that music, and especially the electric guitar, could be used way more radical. It could become an instrument to express global ideas and feelings without having to have a catchy tune. After Jimi Hendrix's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock, many musicians felt more free to experiment in the use and message of their music. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and of course, ring that notification bell for more content like this. We'll meet next time with more Jimi Hendrix content. Stay tuned, take care, bye.